So meditation is a shift in consciousness, a shift in one's frame of reference, a shift in paradigm, a shift of the level of consciousness from which you are perceiving reality. And it is that shift that opens you up to new vistas beyond the event horizon of the normal, or what we call the normal. It's actually very artificial, but the ego mind, the mind that's based on identification with the bodily organism, and to enter into dimensions of consciousness that transcend bodily identification, and therefore are open to infinite expanses and depths and realizations of both the complexity and the simplicity of reality, and the formative fields out of which this phenomenal plane called the world arises and is sustained. So the resistance is that meditation will change you. People often ask me, are there any drawbacks or dangers to meditation? And yes, there are, and the main danger is this: you will change in a very positive way. And that positive way, which will include your becoming more empowered, therefore less under the influence of others, less gullible, less weak, more decisive, wiser, more capable of loving a larger circle of care, including ultimately the entire universe and all of nature. Therefore, a different relationship to the ecosystem, a different, probably, political orientation, religious orientation, relationship to other people who might have wanted you to be smaller and weaker and more controllable. All of those things will change. And this probably won't disturb you, but it may disturb some other people in your life. And that becomes a drawback, because relationships that were unhealthy will become healthier, because you won't put up with an unhealthy relationship in your life. And that can create waves in dysfunctional family systems. So I warn you about that. If you're happy with a dysfunctional system, then don't meditate too much. So I want to talk a little bit about how meditation works and what it is on a theoretical level, but more importantly, I want us to practice. And because we only have a very short time, I want to maximize the time of practice and minimize the theory. But I think without the theory, without a context in which to do it, you won't really know why you're doing it and what the potentialities are of meditation if you really take it up seriously and not just as a very intermittent hobby. And so we need to talk about meditation in terms of its phases. And the first phase, we could say, is the exoteric phase of meditation. That is about self-improvement and becoming a better person and changing your karma, having better opportunities open up magically for you, better relationships, better health. And these things are all documented, that there are health benefits to meditation. You will become calmer, more centered, less anxious. You can be free of depression. You can free yourself from addictions. You can free yourself from a lot of pathological aspects of the ego mind. But you're still within the egoic framework and paradigm. And so in phase one, the paradigm itself doesn't shift, but it improves. And it opens you then to a shift to, let's say, the dimension higher than the ego that traditionally in religious terms we call the soul. And that's phase two, is the soul level, which I would call the mesoteric. And then beyond that there's an esoteric dimension having to do with the spirit.